Hi! In this video we will look at how to transform this image, which is the final render from the previous lesson, into this one, by mimicking the effect of Polaroid photographs. To do this, we are going to accentuate some of the distinguishing aspects of these types of photo: the format and dominant blues in the dark tones, the particularly marked vignetting, the contrast and the graininess. Let's start by using the crop tool. If we hold down the Shift key, we can easily create a square-shaped area for our crop, the typical proportion of a Polaroid, in fact, a square. So now, we convert this layer into a smart object. This will give us the chance to return to the same layer later and change any of the filters or effect we've added. We can apply the grain effect using the grain filter and increase the intensity to get that characteristic Polaroid look. Now let's move on the third typical aspect, the dominant blues in the dark tones. To do this, we create a new layer and fill it entirely with a vivid but very dark blue color. We're going to change the blend mode from normal to exclusion for this layer. As you can see, this immediately gives us the typical vintage look of Polaroid photos, which characteristically contain strong dominant colors in the dark tones. Let's also increase the contrast of the image using a contrast slider in the brightness and contrast layer. Great! So now we are going to recreate the aged paper effect using an external image that we can resize to our liking. And host blend mode, we will change from normal to overlay. In just one shot, the overlay mode gives us greater contrast and at the same time brings the folds from the image into our render. We can decrease the amount so that the impact of this effect on our image isn't excessive. So as we said earlier, if we realize that our image is too grainy, we can change it again thanks to the Smart object. We just click on this icon and change the filters parameters. None of this would have been possible without a Smart object, given that the filters behave in a destructive way when they are applied directly to images, changing them permanently. This doesn't happen, however, if we use Smart objects. Let's add a simple curve to slightly increase the brightness of the whole image. Now, let's create the last typical aspect of Polaroids, the excessive vignetting, which is very visible in the corners. Vignetting can be carried out in many different ways. In this case, we're going to paint and erase using a simple black brush. As usual, we reduce the impact the layer has on the underlying image by lowering its opacity. And to finish off, we recreate the typical Polaroid format with a purposely dedicated space for annotations.